I'm not sure I can do it. Just doesn't feel right. Doesn't seem natural. I don't know how anybody else does it. I mean, when I see them, it just kind of sends a shiver through me, if I'm honest. Morning guys, I'm here today at a park run I've never done before, Mansfield. I'm early, I got here at 16 minutes past 8. There was one car in the car park before me. I've seen one guy in high vis going around doing the park run setup. And one more car's arrived, so yeah, I'm early. So I'll get my warm-up done at a sensible time and then get ready to, well, I need to find the start of this park run. My training plan has thrown me a bit of a curveball. It's told me to do this park run either at an easy pace, so just under 30 minutes, or a controlled tempo, so just over 25-26 minutes. Just doesn't sit right with me. I've never turned up to an event and not given it everything. Every race I've ever done, I've got a PB. Both the park runs I've done, I've kind of progressed from one to the next and got a faster time, and now it's telling me to take it easy on this one, which just feels weird, to be honest. I'll see how I go. It's going to be a challenge of a different sort, but it's definitely what I need. I did the half marathon a week ago at Carsington Water, gave that absolutely everything, and my legs were trashed for most of the week. You know, each time I've done a bit of exercise since then, it's kind of made the DOMs a little bit worse. My right kneecap was sore for a while. Feeling 90 to 95% recovered now, but it does make sense to do this one a bit steady today, so I'll see if I can manage that.
So, this is Mansfield Parkrun. My first time running here, but honestly, I probably shouldn't have been running at all. It all started after my half marathon last weekend. For the first few days, my legs were absolutely wrecked, DOMs in full force. But one thing stood out more than the usual soreness: my right kneecap. It wasn't just tight or achy like the rest of my legs, it had a slightly sharper and more specific soreness. And what really should have been a warning sign, my left knee was pretty much fine, so there was quite a contrast between how the left and the right knee felt. This wasn't just post-race stiffness, it was something different, and I should have paid more attention to it. But instead of taking it easy, I convinced myself it wasn't a big deal. By Monday, I was already back on the bike for a Zwift ride. Nothing intense, just something to keep moving. Then Tuesday, I went out for an easy 6k. It felt fine when I started, just a little stiffness, but by the end the knee was definitely more sore than when I set off. The next morning though, it felt a bit better again, so I told myself I was on the right track and carried on. Then came Thursday, 10k on the trails, steady effort in the rain, the kind of run I love, except this time the knee didn't. Again, it felt okay at first, but by the last few kilometres it was nagging at me more, and after the run, definitely worse. But once again, by the next morning it settled down just enough for me to convince myself I was fine. That brought me to Saturday on my first visit to Mansfield Parkrun. It was next on my NENDY list, and one of my goals for the year is to work through the next 10 on the list. I'd already done Poolsbrook and Brierley Forest last year. They were my first 2 parkruns ever, so this was my third. I have to say, first impressions were great. Parking was really easy, and the course itself was simple to follow. No chance of taking a wrong turn here. The first timer briefing was really clear, the race director and marshals were brilliant, and the atmosphere was friendly, just like every other parkrun I've done so far. The course is 3 laps, mostly on firm paths, so I probably didn't need my Asics Trabuco Max 2 trail shoes, but they worked fine and they were super comfy, so no complaints there. Unfortunately, my knee wasn't as comfortable. I didn't push the pace, this was never going to be a fast run, but even at an easy effort, I could feel it more than I wanted to. By this point I was just hoping it wouldn't feel too bad afterwards. And this is where I'm cursing myself, because I see this all the time, not just in myself, but in so many other runners. Prioritising training over recovery, ignoring those little warning signs, because in the moment they seem small. It's only after the fact that I can see how clear the warning signs were. The truth is, I don't want to be the type of runner who stops at every little niggle or bit of soreness. If I did that, I'd barely train at all. But I also need to stop making the same mistake over and over, thinking I can just power through when my body is still dealing with the stress of a hard race. The reality is, a big effort like a half marathon isn't just another session. It's a huge stress on the body, and I need to plan recovery just as seriously as I plan training, especially as I approach 50 years old. And yet, on Sunday, I made an even bigger mistake, one that, looking back, I can barely believe. I'll tell you all about that next time.
Thanks. Thanks very much. Thank you. That warmed you up. Morning. I've not tried my watch thing before.
Oh, we'll give it a go. Yeah, it's got it. Yeah, no problem. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Oh.